Hey, Nick, I know you watch this pretty closely, but I'm surprised Chris Bowen puts out our new roadmap to 2050, puts it out today, but there's been the revelation. It's all been done in secret. There has been no consultation whatsoever. This is the Australian Energy Market Operator and the regulators. Now, we can't even forecast the weather this weekend pretty accurately. How on earth, particularly without consultation, are we going to be able to forecast the energy we need right out to 2050 and not end up wasting billions as we've wasted already?
Yeah, exactly, Peter. And it's just guesswork, really, in the ISP from AEMO. And it's really troubling to see that the energy regulator is sort of agreeing not to do a separate consultation on this document. They're just going to take AEMO's word for it. This is the problem with this whole thing. It's groupthink. They've got the mindset on one particular solution, and they're pushing ahead with it without any viable modelling. And if Chris Bowen wants his, what does he want to make us a green energy superpower with hydrogen by 2050? That's going to need 3 to 4 times more electricity in the grid than AEMO are forecasting. The whole thing's very, very shabby modelling. It's very shabby policy, and it needs a thorough, solid external review.
And Levin, never forget, my viewers know this true, Bowen's the bloke who blew up our borders. He's also the bloke that authored that horrendous policy to scrap negative gearing. So he's still there in the cabinet. He's still pretty influential. Let's go to another big issue in Queensland, if I can, Caroline. The state wants to dump coal-fired power by 2035, so just over 10 years. They've got a renewables target of 80% of the grid. Well, as of June last year, just 26% of the state's grid came from renewables. Now you've got a whole lot of coalition MPs up there saying this plan to dump coal is rushed. The roads and the bridges can't even handle the weight of all those wind turbines rolling into regional areas, and it's going to adversely affect agricultural land. I mean, this just goes from bad to worse, doesn't it?
And it goes from unrealistic to even more unrealistic, Peter. I mean, we're talking about 10 years away. Currently, Queensland, 74% of its energy comes from fossil fuels. They're basically wanting to legislate a complete flip of that and more, so that 80% comes from renewables. And as at least one MP there has pointed out to a parliamentary inquiry, this is going to have an enormous impact on regional communities who, in many cases, their roads and bridges aren't built to really withstand, as you mentioned, the wind turbines and the other infrastructure that's needed for these kinds of projects. It's not isolated only to Queensland, of course. This is a problem that we're seeing in so many different parts of the country. And I'll be heading to where one proposed project for a wind farm is going to be disputed by some members of the community for some of these very same reasons in New South Wales next week. So, look, it's something we're going to see more and more of across the country as the renewables race really takes pace, but it's getting a lot of people offside.
Yeah, Nick, and kudos to you. You've been writing about this now for a number of years and has really cut through. Nick Cater, thank you for that. Caroline, great to see you as always.